Well, good afternoon. You're watching the first hour of On Point. We cross now to DA leader John Steenhuisen, who is about to address the media on the party's next steps in tackling the electricity crisis. We cross live to that.
Constitution and therefore invalid, and to have these decisions set aside. This includes the disastrous load reduction. Thirdly, to have government's response to the ongoing energy crisis declared inconsistent with the Constitution and invalid. Fourthly, to have government's response to the crisis declared as having failed to respect, protect, promote and fulfill the rights contained in the Bill of Rights, thereby limiting the right of citizens to human dignity, the right to life, the right to an environment that is not harmful to health and well-being, the right of access to healthcare services, the right of access to sufficient water, the right to basic education, and the right to access courts. As part of this application, we will also ask that the court directs government to file, within 30 days, a comprehensive and measurable plan, including short-term, medium-term, and long-term steps to avert this energy crisis. It has become abundantly clear that this government will not act in the interests of the citizens of this country, including protecting them from blackouts and unaffordable electricity tariffs, unless they are compelled by a court of law to do so. It is the DA's sworn duty as the official opposition to hold government to account and to ensure that at all times they act in the interests of the people of South Africa. If that means taking them to court to force their hand, then that is precisely what we will do. In addition to this, as I've already announced, we will be mobilizing South Africans into rolling RAS action in the fight against load shedding and the origin of this crisis, when we march to the Tuli House on Wednesday, the 25th of January. This Power to the People march is directed at the party whose corrupt policy of cadre deployment, their corrupt tender manipulations, and their mismanagement has been directly responsible for the crisis that we now find ourselves in. We ask that everyone in the Gauteng area join us on the day, and that people elsewhere follow our social media pages and those of their local DA structures for details of similar protests in their towns and cities. South Africa, it's become abundantly clear that this government has no intention of helping the people of South Africa. It is clear that our president is unwilling and unprepared to stand up to the corrupt and inept in his own party who are holding us back from putting power into our energy grid. It is not good enough to simply sit back now and expect this government that has made hollow promises since 2007 to address this crisis to do anything concrete about it. We have a president who talks a lot, but who does very little. And that is why we're now calling on all South Africans to unite on this key issue, to stand up and show this government that we are not prepared to pay the premium for their corruption, their maladministration, and their poor policy choices. And so I'm urging us to stand up, shoulder to shoulder, and let's be counted. It's time to cut the ANC's power, because this is how we take our power back. See you on the streets, South Africa.
Well, that is DA leader John Steenhuisen outlining the party's next steps in tackling the electricity crisis.